Today, I want to talk to you about something crucial for your S&P business, where you get your tools. It's not just about having the right tools, it's about getting them from a source you can trust. And that's why I recommend Palms Fashion. Palms Fashion has been serving professionals since 1991 right here in the heart of New York City. As a family-run business, they've built a reputation for providing new and authentic products to licensed professionals around the world. And now, they're taking it a step further by offering scalp micropigmentation supplies so you can get everything you need in one place. They're an official distributor of the biggest names in the industry: Andis, Wall, Babyliss, Stylecraft, Ink You Care, and more. These are the brands we trust to deliver flawless results, and Palms Fashions ensures you're getting genuine products with full warranties, plus S&P supplies you need to keep your business running smoothly. Your tools and supplies are an investment in your craft and your success as an S&P artist. So don't just buy from anywhere. Trust the experts at Palms Fashion. Whether you're in New York City or shopping online at palmsfashioninc.com, they've got everything you need to take your business to the next level. Remember, trust the best. Trust Palms Fashion. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Scalp Solutions Podcast. I'm your host, David Santiago. Joining us is an experienced barber and a skilled S&P artist from Fort Worth Scalp Micropigmentation, Erika. With 10 years of experience behind a barber chair, Erika has helped countless clients, many of whom have struggled with hair loss. Her mission is to restore confidence in those affected by hair loss through the transformative power of scalp micropigmentation. Erika is dedicated to empowering her clients, helping them feel confident and beautiful again. I'm excited to welcome Erika to the show.
What's up, David? Thank you so much for making time for me. I'm really excited about this podcast today.
Thank you for making some time for me. I was bothering you because I was like, yo, she's being Hollywood. She doesn't want to jump on the podcast. She's like, I can't make no time for you. We spoke in Arizona. What do we need to talk about anymore?
Right.
No, but I do appreciate you. I know you're incredibly busy. That being said, let's get right into it. Erika, what is it that inspired you to transition from being a barber to offering scalp micropigmentation services?
Honestly, when I first heard of S&P, it was years ago, like 10 years ago. I remember hearing about it on the radio and I just thought it was interesting. So as like I was cutting my regular clients and I started hearing them complain about hair thinning, and when I would think back on S&P, I figured that maybe I could find something to help them. And also I was looking for a side job. So I couldn't find anything that would fit my schedule and be worth my time, that I really liked. So then whenever I just kept coming back to S&P, coming back and doing some research. And then at the time, there wasn't any trainings that I could find because this was like close to 10 years ago.
Yeah, there was nothing down there by you.
Yeah, no, it was like I'd had to travel and it was more expensive, or it was only online. So I knew that I didn't want to do online. I don't know. I just feel like it was always in the back of my head.
So now you said you were looking for a side job. So were you already thinking, like, you were already planning your escape from barbering? or...
No, I loved barbering, but I just kind of wanted to make more money and also do something a little bit different. But I never wanted to get away from barbering. I just wanted something like extra. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I understand it. So are you still cutting these days, or do you have like your special clients that you handle?
So I have very special clients. Like I only have like maybe 3 that I keep on rotation, and I tell them to keep it a secret. I'm like, don't tell anybody I cut your hair.
Because then they'll be lined up again, right?
Yeah.
How has your background as a barber helped you when you're performing S&P, in particular, like when you're designing hairlines and creating realistic results?
It's definitely been an advantage. I would say like the whole face framing, finding a hairline that's going to suit somebody, like different ages, sometimes you just already know, especially as a barber, they don't even really have to explain so much because you've heard it so many times. So I already know like where they want the fade, how it's going to fit their face and everything. And I don't want to do just like a one fits all. So it's definitely.
So you don't want to New York them, because over here, everybody gets a hard hairline.
Do they?
Listen, they sit down and they be like, I want a natural hairline. You know what a natural hairline means for them? And I showed them, I got the posters on the wall. I was like, Sir,
Yeah,
what do you mean by natural hairline? They point to it and it's the
yeah,
sharp.
I've seen that
That's,
before. And I
that's
think that
natural.
they want a natural edge up, like they want it, I've heard that.
Yeah, yeah. Like they don't want like a natural edge up to them is just like I still want it sharp. I don't want it like magic marker sharp.
They
But I
probably think they
want
were born like that.
it sharp. What about down by you? Is that in Fort Worth? What do you see more of? Do you get them wanting like the crispy hairline or do they want like the blended, like the faded natural hairline?
I think I get both. I get like half and half. So then whenever I have people come in for a natural hairline, they always make it clear like I don't want it blocky. Like that's like the first thing they say. So I tell them like everybody can request what they want. So yeah, I get a little bit of both. My clientele is very diverse.
Do you ever find yourself like telling them like, listen, that's not gonna look. I don't think that's gonna suit you. It's not gonna be symmetrical to your face. Like, why don't you try this? Or do you just go off of what they ask for?
Most of the time they like ask me what I think would look best on them and then I'll tell them.
And then they're like, all right, she said it's good. Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I wish I had that problem. What strategies did you use to grow your S&P business in Fort Worth, especially when you first was starting out?
Oh man, I did like literally everything that I could. And I remember this is crazy because I remember listening to your podcast like 4 years ago or maybe even longer. And there was a book that you had
The S&P Business Blueprint?
no, it was before that. It was like a marketing book.
The one-page marketing plan?
No,
Or
it was like white and red, black,
I
white and
have the author on the podcast.
yeah.
Okay, that was Carlos Gil,
Yeah.
The End of Marketing.
So somewhere in there I read about I don't remember the exact words, but it was saying like when you're posting and marketing and like you're just like a fish in like a big ocean and like I would just think at first and I would stop myself when I was barbering on posting too much because I didn't want to annoy everybody. And now I'm just like, man, you know what? The more that I annoy them, the better. If people are that annoyed, they just unfollow me. But I'm gonna have to help somebody out. So I just really like I kept posting, kept posting. I was really awkward about being on video at first. I overcame that a little bit.
I see you've been working.
Yeah, it was hard. Like I would do so many takes just to post like a 10-second video. That I would talk to everybody. I would go into barbershops, give them t-shirts, and it was cool. Everybody was real supportive and a lot of guerrilla marketing, like anywhere that I could go, anytime that I had off, I was like thinking about something.
So I know you were saying that it's been, you've been you're putting yourself out there, making the videos, and I've been checking them out, and I can see it. Like I've
My
seen all of
progress.
them, so it's like I can see you transitioning, like you're getting more and more comfortable, and I know that it's difficult because even when I first started like doing it, I know you're like, damn, you put in all this effort. You're like, shit, I did all of that, for a 10-second video, but you obviously understand the power of social media. How have you been leveraging social media to promote your S&P and attract new clients?
I post a lot. I feel like I started posting a lot on TikTok and TikTok just really blew up for me. I don't have a lot of followers on there. I have like under 5,000, but it's crazy how many views and stuff the videos get. So I get so many clients from there and I just told myself like I'm just not going to focus. I mean, I'm still focused on Instagram, but I don't like sit there and scroll and scroll. So I really feel like I live in a bubble sometimes because I don't know what's going on. And then I'm just like focused on the business and the family and all that.
Listen, I've said it several times, and anyone that tries to create content, like that shit is its own full-time job within
It
itself,
is.
creating
Yeah.
content. So it's like, yeah, you understand as a business now in this day and age, like you have to have social media and you have to put yourself out there, and then you start doing it and you're like, holy shit, I just spent like 2 hours
Right. On a video.
real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what challenges did you face growing, your S&P business, and how have you worked to overcome them? I know you've been doing this for a while, but I ask these questions because we do get a lot of new S&P artists or aspiring S&P artists that want to come into the industry listening to this podcast. And I like to ask, some of the veterans that are successful and doing good in the industry, do you remember those beginning days? What were you doing to to scale your business?
Mhm. So when I started, I remember just thinking like I've made this investment and I don't want to just like stop and lose the confidence. So I just made sure to keep going. If there was like a couple weeks where I didn't have somebody scheduled, I would go look for somebody or I would chase somebody. If I didn't have, I wanted to make sure I had like a diverse portfolio. So I didn't want to just have like white people or just Mexicans. So I literally chased down like people that had asked me questions and I'm like, okay, I don't have a natural hairline. Let me go find somebody. And then I would just kept talking to them, kept talking to them. And then like, let me find a black person that wants an edge up. And one time, like I was pretty slow. I ended up doing this guy, like, he's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. I was like, come on, I'll just do it for free. So I did it for free. But I mean, it worked out because I got clients that would show me that picture and they would say, like, this is how I want my hairline. So
Nice.
um yeah, that I would say just keep being consistent, don't give up, keep practicing, don't get comfortable and just expect people to like walk in the door because you gotta,
Because
especially
it ain't happening,
yeah.
regardless of what the trainer told you. Are there some struggles that you're facing now as an S&P artist that you know you've been trying to like overcome?
I think one that, like how you were saying, social media is a full-time job. Whenever I'm the busiest, I don't have time to post, and I have all these videos, but I just don't have time to post them because I'm a mom also. So I'm working all day, driving back and forth all day, and by the time I'm home, it's nighttime, and then I just catching up to like doing content every day. I feel like I fall behind on that.
Have you started working on like a plan? Like, is there like what are you doing to try to be better at posting all the content that you're getting?
Well, right now I struggle with that. I struggle with finding balance. I've always been like that, even when I was barbering. Like if I'll take a day off, but I'll end up back in the shop somehow. So like I really had to like force myself, block it out, write it on there, don't come in. Like so yeah, I had to do that and then just make sure I worked. I feel like I brainwashed myself to make every day at least do something productive, even if it's something small towards work. So I don't want to lose that habit. So even if it's something small, like whatever just comes to mind, I want to make sure that I stay on top of that.
I appreciate that transparency because not a lot of people would admit, like, yeah, man, I struggle with that too. But I appreciate that because there's somebody listening that they're like, yo, me too. But when it comes to your consultations, how do you ensure that your potential clients feel comfortable and informed about S&P?
um, that was another struggle that I had at the beginning. I was super nervous, especially giving them the price. But I feel like after a while, I just became more confident, and I feel like clients can tell if you're confident. So that's helped a lot. I make sure to tell them the maintenance, the process, um, tell them that as we go, we can adjust the hairline so it's not like first session is going to be permanently the first session, because we can kind of adjust it a little bit.
When it comes to marketing techniques, I know you said that you kind of been on the TikTok game, but when it comes to your marketing techniques, what has worked best for you in growing your clients in let's say both in barbering and S&P? I understand you're not barbering anymore, but what was working best for you for as a barber and for S&P?
Of course, social media, good customer service, making people feel comfortable, telling them, tell their friends, offering referral bonuses and all that.
Do you have an ideal customer? And what I mean by that is like when someone comes in and you see and you're like, all right, it's not a Norwood 7. It's just maybe like 3, 4 inches of the hairline, but I still know I'm gonna make some decent money. That's That's my favorite.
Yeah,
That's
no, mine
that's
is
my
the
favorite.
small
What
heads.
about for you?
The
No?
small the small head, but it's like a number 7. Those are my favorite.
You said a small head, but a Norwood 7, because you know you gonna hit them right. That's top. They gotta pay. They gotta pay
Yeah.
top dollar still.
But it's gonna take half the time.
What's the going rate for a Norwood 7 in your side of the?
Here it's about 3,000, sometimes, 3 to 3,500. But I feel like average is about 2,500 here in DFW. I still get a lot of people that are like, oh, well, I got a lot of cheaper quotes in your area. But I mean, a lot of people, they tell me like it's worth it. Like I feel like it was cheap.
Yeah, once they pay, because they know, because they see it, they probably see what $1,000 or $500 session will get you. And I'm not knocking. I always gotta say I'm not knocking if you offer $500 session. I understand some of you
Yeah,
newbies gotta get
yeah,
your
that's
game
not
up,
bad.
but some of y'all motherfuckers been in the industry for 7 years and you're still doing $500 jobs and botching and surviving. That's crazy because they get so much. Damn. All right, let's not sidetrack. Sometimes I get. Can you share what equipment and tools you're currently using for your SMP work? And I want to know, like, I want you to tell me, the tools that you're using, and I want to know why you chose them. Did they offer you the bag? Did they go, listen, Erica, you killing it out there. Let me give you some money, wave my needles around for me? Or did you go, did you say, you know what? I actually like these.
No, yeah, when right now I'm using the Eros and the blends, and I really do like them. I feel like they work good on like most skin types.
So that's for the needles you're using the arrows, right? And what about the pen?
The pen, so I'm using the Flux. I was using the FYT pen. I don't know if you've heard of it, and I loved it.
What happened?
Had it for like a couple weeks and I dropped it.
Oh,
So
and it broke.
yeah,
Okay.
but I've been meaning to buy another one. I can't remember the name of it, but it was
Yeah, I don't remember the name of the FYT one either. So it didn't just crap out on you. You dropped it. You broke it.
yeah, I dropped it right on the corner, but it had like a colorful screen. It was really cool.
Did you drop it out of anger or was it a mistake? No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to.
No, no, no. I said yeah. I thought you said angle. So I was like, yeah, I
He's
dropped
like, yeah, out of anger. How do you stay competitive in a market that's becoming more saturated with new S&P artists every day?
I just stay on top of it, try to provide the best work that I can because I feel like there's enough people out there for everybody. And if I'm just focused on bringing the best results, the best customer service, being reliable, and I feel like it'll come together.
What do you do when you put out a training announcement, invest a little bit of money behind it, and you have 10 students? And those 10 students, I don't know if you do the go around, everybody introduce yourself, blah, 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 where you're from. Fort Worth, Fort Worth, Fort Worth, Fort Worth. What does that do to you as not only the trainer, but as the local artist?
Yeah. I usually don't do big classes. I like to do smaller classes, more intimate.
What would you consider a smaller, more intimate class? What's the
Like
class size?
3 to 5 students max.
What's your reasoning behind that?
Uh, for me, I just feel like I can do a little bit more hands-on with everybody and be able to help them. It's less overwhelming for me. I get a little bit of stage fright in a big group, and I just feel like I just do better in smaller groups.
Got you.
Yeah, big group would be great money, but I'd probably lose sleep and everything for.
So when you say stage fright, you mean like getting in front of them and letting them know like this because you like, all right, there's too many eyes on.
Yeah, I overwhelm myself because I want everybody to do great. So I know that when it gets bigger groups, I just overstress myself. That's why I like to do smaller ones because I know that I could give them my all and make sure that they're good and get a lot of hands on.
Got you. Makes sense. How are you balancing being an S&P artist, right? Running your own business, taking care of your own marketing. Are you doing your own marketing right now, or are you with a
I
team?
work with a 7 figure. Yeah.
Seven figures. Seven. Oh, okay, got you. I understand. Is he the one that the girl's like slaps in the face and she comes out? I'm gonna teach you how to make
how to get more clients.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I'm telling you, I live in a bubble.
Oh, okay.
I haven't
I
seen
think that's them. Yeah, he's cool. I forgot his name, but he's a dope dude. Um, how do you balance that? Because you're also a mom, you're a business owner. You got to take care of your own marketing. You do your own photos, probably edit them too. Got to sit down and talk with these marketing people because you got to give them your vision. Like, how do you balance that?
Um, I'm very like I'm all about like my focus and my energies. Like I'm very like if I know something's messing with my head, I just don't even like pay any attention to it. If I know something's not good for me, like it's crazy. I hardly watch TV. Like I don't I'm very like I feel I can only take in so much. So I'm very like focused on what I need to do. That's the
So
only way that I could do it.
so are you very good at completely blocking someone or anything out once you determine like, yo, I don't want that in my space?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now,
Yeah, it scares me
you ever
sometimes.
come across a client that you felt like, oh my goodness, this dude is killing me because they're doing too much talking?
Oh my God. Yes, and that's the first time. Like I've always been I'm a shy person, but I'm also very social. So like I love to talk, but I've never, when you have a long day and I feel like I've been talking all day and then towards the end, it's always when I get those. I've had one or two and I never had that barbering, but I guess barbering's like was every 30-minute clients. With this, it's hours where I'm just like I'll lose myself and just forget that I'm like, uh-huh. Yeah.
Like they're literally telling you the whole entire story of how
And
them,
it's
whatever, the
usually
wife or whatever, is like,
no,
holy
but I mean
shit.
if it's like the drama, I enjoy hearing it. But if it's like what they're telling me that they do at work at a warehouse, I'm like, I'm not interested.
You're like, yo, bro, if you're gonna hit me with the bochinche, I want it to be spicy, bro. I don't want to know what you did at work. That shit is whack.
Yeah, I had to work the machine and
It's like, man, I hit this button and then that flaps down. And you're like, yo, has anybody cheated on you in your life lately? Like, can we get into the good stuff? No, so I asked that because you know, when you explain how you're all about like your energy and you want to focus, I'm the exact same way. I mean, I spent my whole day like trying to be social, doing this, talking to everybody, trying to get people to come out of their cocoon, and then that gets to a certain point where it's just like, bro, like I don't want to talk, I don't want to
right.
text.
And it's yeah.
No.
Because if I go out, like if I ever go out at night, I'm quiet and everybody's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I'm like, "I'm good." Like I realize like I talk all day at work, so I get off work and I'm just like chill.
Yeah, and then you have those days where you feel like that towards the end, and you got that last client that just happens to be the one that's like, "Hey, well, I'm gonna be here with you for 3 hours. I'm gonna tell you everything that I did
I'm
on
gonna train you just in case.
my landscaping gig. Make that shit blow it out of proportion." All right, Erica. So I'm gonna get you to kind of drop some gems. What advice would you give another SMP artist who's looking to grow their business, but they aren't sure where to start with marketing?
um, so especially I would say don't be afraid to invest, do your research, and you gotta put money in to make money. At first I didn't understand that. I didn't know it was like a long-term thing. I really was so uneducated that I thought it was like a one fee and then it takes care of it and I build a clientele. And but then I realized like all these huge companies, they're putting in money monthly, like all the big companies that you hear of. So I would say don't be afraid to make money. Spend money to make money.
You initially when you invested into S&P, I'm not gonna say that you were sold the dream, but I guess it's kind of that because there are some things that are left out in
Yeah.
terms of when the training is being sold because it's very like, yo, you're gonna give us X amount of $1,000, 3 days, we're gonna teach you how to do this, and you're gonna go out there and crush it. And a big important portion of what's left out is the whole business structure, right? You can't actually build a business without having any money. You now knowing or wishing that this was something that you have known when you're training your students, is this something that you make them aware of? Like, listen, you're investing XYZ with me, but just know if you want to get to my level, it's going to take some further, you know, financing.
Yes, yes, of course.
So you're transparent with them with that. You don't wait till after and be like, hey, yeah, you guys spent.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people come in with that mindset, like, oh, I'm a barber, I have a lot of clientele. Like I seriously thought that I had so much barber clientele that I would just have a bunch of S&P, but then it kind of makes sense. Like your barber clientele has a lot of hair.
Right, right. And some are just they're scared to even just try it because it's a tattoo.
Mm.
Can you talk about any mistakes or lessons that you've learned in marketing your S&P and how have you improved over the time?
Um, uh, Lessons that I've learned that I don't like wouldn't really see it as like a waste because I felt like it was a lesson learned. But some of the like advertisement on paper, like I feel like that hasn't really worked out well for me. I try to see it as the write-off, but
When you say advertisement on paper, what do you mean? You're talking about like publications, like newspapers and stuff like that?
yeah, like I've done like golf club scorecards where they print like 5,000 or they magazines that have an ad and stuff like that.
So you're saying with the written publications that to you wasn't it didn't bring any value to you. You
When it
just
comes to ads, like articles and all that, I don't see it as a waste because a lot of people actually read those. But when it's like a coupon, like in a magazine or something like that.
so you've evolved from that. Like, so do you just focus like digital, like Facebook or Google ads
Yeah,
and
I think that
digital
would,
magazines?
yeah, I think that'd be a better investment for sure.
What are your future goals for for I keep saying Fort Worth. That's my New York public school education. It doesn't allow me to it doesn't allow me to pronounce certain words. All right. What are your future goals for Fort Worth Scalp Micropigmentation and how do you plan to continue growing your brand in these coming years?
Right now, I've considered a couple things. Like I've considered moving to a bigger city, but at the same time, I can't because of the name that I chose. So going back to that's actually one of the lessons that I learned. I feel like I wasn't thinking big enough. I was thinking like Fort Worth, my city, and then I'm just like I have so many people coming from Dallas, so many people coming from Houston, Austin, and then now I don't even think like Texas S&P would be big enough. Like I just have a bigger vision and it's all thanks to like people like you, people like
Thank
other people that I've seen that have done big and I feel like I should have gone bigger. So my goal right now is to just keep growing and eventually have a team, but also have a team that's busy.
Would you consider rebranding if you had to move to a different area?
Yeah, I've considered rebranding. I'd still keep Fort Worth S&P. Obviously, I feel like I can't let it go, but
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that too. I think you could be in New York and call that shit Fort Worth S&P. Because at that point, if you're that busy that you feel like, or you got to move to a different demographic like that, they're not coming for the name. They're coming for you. You know, the name is the least of it. But I could understand where you feel a little more like minimized because it's like shit. It says Fort Worth, so I should be here in
a
Fort
lot
Worth.
of people, a lot of people, when I travel, they're like, "Where's that?" I mean, Fort Worth is a big city. We have a big population. It's very spread out. It's not compressed as New York, but I mean, there's a lot of people here. So I don't know if you've ever heard of it before.
Before you, Fort Worth.
Yeah, have you heard of Fort Worth?
I did. Well, I spent 14 years in the military, so that's how I knew. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Aside from that, probably not. If I would have never joined the military, I wouldn't have known anything outside of the South Bronx. I would have just stood.
Yeah, because Texas is big. Like people assume like Houston's the only thing in Texas.
Yeah, all they think is only Houston and Nashville. Like, oh yeah, that's all right. Yeah, no, there's a whole bunch of other stuff. I want you to give me one piece of advice that you would give to a new S&P artist.
Don't give up. Stay consistent. Stay on top of the marketing. Talk to everybody. Tell everybody what you do. I don't. I mean, I'm telling you, like I thought I was annoying, and I just stopped caring. You got to stop caring what people think. You know, the people that matter are going to stick to you. The people that should matter, people that find you annoying, it'll fall off.
What about the S&P artists? Let's say me, who I'm shy to be in front of camera, but I know that marketing is super important and content creation. What advice in your journey so far to being a better content creator, what advice would you give me if I'm still scared to be in front of the camera?
Record yourself every day talking, as crazy as it sounds and as hard as it is, and then you don't have to post it. Like what I did at first, I had Snapchat and I erased everybody off Snapchat except for my family, because I know my family is going to be honest, and I would sit there and just like talk, and I would ask them like to critique me, but that's how I started. And I can't believe, like, I thought that was my biggest challenge then, you know.
And you're still working on it now. I mean, listen, like I said, I've seen the evolution of, I seen even when you first started doing it, I was like, oh shit, all right, everybody's catching on. They know they got to jump in front of the camera. I got to stay sharp, make sure I keep on going. Because if I stop.
And then I also think it's important to be yourself. So I would overthink it, want it to be perfect, but then I don't want people to come in and see like a whole totally different person. So I do want to be a little bit authentic. And
Yeah, of course.
yeah. So if I mess up a little bit on a video, if it's a little bit, I'll still post it because it shows who I am.
Yeah, absolutely. Post all of them. How can artists connect with you? What's your social media handles?
Instagram is Fort Worth SMP, TikTok Fort Worth SMP. So that's the best way. If you guys aren't following me yet, follow me there and I'll follow you back.
I have a personal question for you. I was going to ask you offline, but I want to ask you here. You hit me up not too long ago and you was like, yo, Dave, I took a photo that you did and I kind of like revamped it for myself. Did it do well?
Oh, it did great. It did great. I think I posted it twice because it did so good. See,
Yeah.
that's another thing. Like if there's a day I don't feel like making content, I'll go back into an old post, and I'm looking for it right now. I'll go back into an
And
old
you
post.
can if it works. You can if it works. I feel like this just big, like in the, again, I'm just talking for the S&P industry. There we go. Let me see, put it up. So
23.6 thousand views.
that's
And
outstanding.
I reposted it, and I could see when it's blowing up because I started getting a lot of lead messages.
Yeah,
So
that's
I posted it again. The second time, I think I got like 5,000 views.
I've done mine like 3 times already, and then I archive it, and then I put it again. I'll put some money on it. Yo, that's my money maker. That photo is literally my money maker right there. I don't care what anybody says. Like you'll see some of these cats in the industry, and this is the part of the industry that I hate, because they'll be like, oh, you're posting the same picture over and over. Yo, my guy, there's a strategy behind that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you want to post before and after 3 or 6 of them every day, yo, do whatever works for you. Why the artist that's
Work
what works
smarter.
for him? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's one less photo I have to edit. And I've had 2 artists, and they didn't come at me like that because they know, like, my shit, I have a strategy for everything that I'm doing. They were like, yo, bro, you keep reposting that picture and I see you getting a shitload of likes. Like, is it really converting like that for you? Like, that you don't care that you'll repost it even though other artists see it? I'm like, bro, I don't post for other artists. I post for potential clients. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if Erika calls and be like, yo, you post that shit 10 times this month. I don't care. I'm worrying about 10 new clients seeing that. That's my only worry.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut
Oh,
you
no,
off.
go ahead. No, you.
I feel like it's so easy to get lost and forget who your audience is. So like I even went through that when I first started, and then I had to like rewire my brain and be like, okay, what other artists think? I mean, it's great to be inspired because I love to see other people's work, but at the end of the day, my audience, I want it to be potential clients.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not worried. S&P artists ain't gonna give me $3,000. You know what I mean? They don't even want to give you 20. They don't even want to give you $20 for a book that you can tell them like, yo, I'm gonna help you get your king right. They're like, nope. Why worry about what they got to say about for a photo? Erika, before we wrap it up, meeting of the minds. Will you be there?
Yeah.
October in New York City. Are you going to be there just attending? Are you going to be a speaker? I didn't know to what capacity you was going to be there.
I'll just be attending.
What are you looking to gain out of attending Meeting of the Minds?
Knowledge, inspiration, motivation. Because I feel like when I thought about it, I'm like, should I go? But I know going there and just having these conversations with a few people is just gonna spark something in me and just push me a little bit harder. So
Yeah,
that's the goal. And network, of course.
for sure. I'm going to definitely see you there. Hopefully we'll get to chop it up a little more than what we did in Arizona. That's if you don't get too fancy for me after we done with this interview.
I'm gonna be on my disguise with my glasses on.
Yeah. I might catch you. You might pull off, you might start doing some social media. You might create some content there, let everybody know.
Like, hold on, I'm speaking. I'm making a video.
I'm making it real, guys, for you relax. Erika, I appreciate you taking out some time to come on the podcast and chop it up with me. I appreciate you, and I definitely look forward to chopping it up with you in New York City in October.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited. Thank you for having me again. I don't know if you remember, I'm gonna have to find the screenshot. I had messaged you like when I brand new, and I was like, I'm gonna be on your podcast one day. Do you remember that? You probably don't, but it might be in one of our messages.
No, hold on. Is it the same Instagram that you've always had?
I think so.
Oh man, I feel like there's been a handful of people that I remember telling me that. One of them I interviewed today too, Kilber Cisneros. I remember him telling me. I was like, brother, you just started. You got to keep going. And then one day, let me see. Hold on. This is going to be dope if it's still here. Let's see, Erika. Let's go all the way up. No, the last thing I have, the beginning is August. Do you still have it?
Look for it. I'll look for it. Because you have a couple of pages, right?
No, I mean, I got the Scalp Solutions podcast and then my regular Scalp Solutions one. Maybe you send it to the Scalp Solutions podcast. Let's see here if I have you. So for you guys listening right now and don't see what the hell was happening, I am just looking to see through my DMs when Erika manifested today.
2021, like I've seen messages. Okay, yeah, I've seen it. It's November 2021.
Put it to the camera. Can you see it?
Keeping it 100. I don't know if you could see.
Keeping it 100. Let me see if you put it to, I think I'll be able to read it. All right, keeping it 100. There we go. Keeping it 100. I'm really working on my skill set and communication skills. So one day I'm able to be someone that would want to be interviewed by someone like you. That is fucking amazing. Let me leave that there. I want to take a picture of this. Well, Erika, you definitely manifested that, and you definitely earned it. You're doing your thing in the S&P game, and I see what you're doing on your content, and I know if you keep going, you're gonna be killing it. And you might be, I might be able to slide the podcast over to you. You might be my sub. You know what I mean?
No, thank you so much again. It was great being on here with you.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you, and I'll see you soon, guys. That's gonna wrap it up for this episode of the Scalp Solutions Podcast. Until the next time, peace.